transforms conversation into practical solutions that addresses Nigeria's most urgent social and environmental challenges. It is more than a forum. It is a movement for collective action, innovation, and measurable impact towards a sustainable future for all. Sustainability Roundtable on Global TV is not just another television program. It is a national transformation advocacy platform, a platform where policy meet people, a platform translating national policies into grassroots action, a platform helping Nigerians understand that the Renew Hope agenda is not complete until communities feel its impact. When grassroots people understand policy, policy becomes ownership. When communities own development, sustainability becomes inevitable. Today's discussion focuses on a powerful and urgent national conversation, killing the hunger, harnessing grassroots mobilization for national transformation. In Nigeria and across Africa, the word grassroots is one of the most used and sometimes one of the most misunderstood development concepts. For some, grassroots means political mobilization during elections. For others, it means local communities, market women, artisans, farmers, and youth group, faith institutions, and formal economic actors. But in reality, grassroots represent the true foundation of national development. Grassroots means communities, families, cooperatives, farmers, artisans, youth innovators, women-led enterprises, informal businesses, traditional institutions. Yet in many cases across Nigeria, grassroots structures are mobilized politically but underutilized developmentally. This disconnect contributes to food insecurity, youth unemployment, rising poverty, rural-urban migration, crime and insecurity, weak local production system. The theme is timely because Nigerian development future depends on our ability to transform grassroots population from passive beneficiaries into active producers, innovators, and nation builders. This aligns directly with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renew Hope agenda, which emphasizes food security, economic growth, job creation, poverty reduction, community empowerment, inclusive governance. It also aligned with key SDGs. SDG 1, no poverty. SDG 2, zero hunger, which is where we lay much emphasis of our topic today, killing hunger. SDG 5, gender equality. SDG 8, decent work. SDG 10, reduced inequality. And SDG 17, partnership for the goal. Like I always emphasize in this program, we know that the SDG 17 is the most critical part of the sustainable development goal. And I always emphasize that this SDG 17 is the missing link in the Millennium Development Goal. And because if you look at the SDG 17, it talks about building global partnership for implementation of the goals, which means SDG 17 is the rider of all other driver of the other development goals. And so joining us today in this studio are two distinguished development champions. These are men that have left whatever they are doing to ensure that the grassroots is being reached. All you talk every day is grassroots. I have with me in the studio Engineer Anthony Adeola. Engineer Anthony is the CEO, Adeola Constructions and Engineering Limited, and a community system expert and a grassroots transformation advocate. Mr. Engineer Tony, you are welcome to Global TV.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir. And also I have with me Mr. Joseph Gene. Mr. Joseph Gene is a Spanish, but I call him a Spanish Nigerian ambassador. He is the chairman of Agrus International Limited, an international development practitioner an advocate for inclusive economic growth. Gentlemen, welcome to Sustainability Roundtable series.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Now, we are here to lay emphasis on just a simple thing. You know, there's a great misconception about grassroots, especially grassroots mobilization. You know, election is coming up in Nigeria again, and the emphasis now is grassroots mobilization. Everybody is working towards mobilizing for election. And I've never seen how development will be sustainable if we don't pay the same attention in mobilizing for development, in mobilizing for farming, in mobilizing for sports, in mobilizing for small-scale businesses. That is how when a country will go. Why do we always lay more emphasis in mobilizing for elections? I'm talking to you, engineer.
Thank you very much. When we mobilize for the election, if you are not be part of it, you will know, ask them how they are share it. In a different area that we mobilize and grow ourselves together by supporting each candidate that we wanted to put at the top. Then we believe all our grassroots members, when we mobilize, we put our person. We will now have time to ask for our rights when there's time. But when we are not supporting them, we are not be part of them, there's no any grassroots can come in and ask, which is your right, I be my right. But when we get ourselves together, we work for them. We'll be able to come together and ask them, we work for you, you promise us this, and you have to fulfill your promise.
Thank you very much, Mr. Engineer Tony. You see, Joseph Gene, we in Nigeria, and I also believe that also in Spain, you know, electoral political processes are almost the same everywhere, mobilization. And for instance, in Nigeria, you've been in Nigeria for a while now, and at least you came into Nigeria at a point when the mobilization fever is building up and is taking root everywhere. Now, Nigeria talks about grassroots in every election, just like I want to compare it to your place now. Now, how do we move from political grassroots mobilization to productive grassroots transformation that create job, food, and prosperity?
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. The politics more or less are the same in every part of the world. But here, why the grassroots mobilization is important? It's very easy. Politics is in every part of our lives. You know my point? So if we want our leaders be part of us, and vice versa, we need to contribute with our message to them, okay, because they are public servants. So we need to express what we need to them and allow them to understand our needs and how to move forward. So Nigeria is very sweet in every sense. And first of all, what I would say is that the power that we have as Nigeria is agriculture. I can say that the agriculture of the 50s in Spain. So now it's time to answer your question, how we can do that. So at the end, we need to believe in our farming capability. Also, the government can help to bring the best practices on ground with international know-how, and together build Nigeria as the food basket, not just for the local community, not just for exportation of it. We can convert Nigeria in the food basket of the world. So what does it mean in other terms? My grandmother worked as a farmer, while my grandfather was at the civil service. They were the backbone of all agriculture at that time and also livestock. So the woman and the youth were the ones taking care about the agriculture and the business coming while the other people were in the war. That was happening in the 40s when civil war was in Spain. So imagine the importance that is bringing the good practices in the agriculture and empower the youth and the woman. Because if we are able to bring know-how to them, both women and youth, we are giving them tools, we are giving them job, we are giving them food security, and the economy will grow. I remember the first time that I went to Africa, it was to Ethiopia. I was the CEO of one foundation that we were raising funds for a missionary. And I asked him a question, for you what is first, eating or going to school for the children? And he said to me, to breathe. So now first things first, we need to join together as a community to be with the government aligned, and the government should do their work, but us as a community, we need to work to make our agriculture be the best of the world. First, to serve ourselves, later to expand worldwide. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes. You answered the question correctly. Like what we emphasize is how do we mobilize now? What strategy? Comparing Nigeria. There's something somebody said to me some time ago that in your own area in Spain, in the Europe, that 5% of the population are farmers.
Yes.
They feed 95%.
Yes.
But in Nigeria now, the emphasis is already on 95% of our population are farmers.
Yeah.
A lot of Nigerians claim to be farmers. And it's still difficult for us to feed the 5%. And now, nobody is talking about mobilizing grassroots for farming.
To mobilize the grassroots for farming, it's very simple. First, you need to have the message. What you are going to tell. What do you believe in as a politic? What we are going to do, which is the strategic plan? What we have in our hands? Which are the resources? Which are the capabilities? Which one of them they need to import? And for example, I will give you an example. Here you have a stone, okay? And as Nigerian maybe, or as a Spanish, I don't know what this stone is. So because I don't know the value, I throw it away. But my friend here, Engineer Anthony, knows that is gold. So he takes the stone, he puts the same stone in the pocket. Why? Because he knows that is wealthy.
Value, yeah.
So at the end, first of all, we need to let the people understand how wealthy we are because we have these natural resources with us. We have arable land, we have a lot of place to develop our livestock, and also we are blessed with water. Is that true?
Yeah.
We have more than 55% of the people that are under 25.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of people to work. What we need to put in the system now? Know-how. Just to make a surviving, and not even a surviving agribusiness agro business, because at the end we cannot feed our people to convert it in an agribusiness. For that reason, we need a message first. Hey, with those land in every part, we are going to cultivate this. This livestock is going to be there, and we are feeding our local community. But someone needs to think about that, and I know that the people in the government are doing their best just to incorporate the right knowledge and also the right international partners to make things together. What I do believe in is in the shake hands and exchange what we have. And I think what we need to bring to the people of the grassroots, first, hope. What does it mean? We will be able to be sustainable alone. Never again a big money or petrol money. And you know what I mean, because I'm very grounded here. And why? Because we will be cultivating our lands. We will make them feed the local community, and then we'll have money on that. What I tell to my people in Europe is that one day you will beg a job in Africa.
That's serious.
Seriously speaking, why? Because in Africa we have everything, and Nigeria more. I will tell you why. welcoming people. The food is amazing. It's very sweet in every terms because we can develop whatever. If you have the right connections and the right people, everything can happen. And the people here are proud of our country. I am a Nigerian without passport, so please, I need my passport. The thing is that, as an ambassador of Nigeria, coming from Spain, I should say that first we need to believe in ourselves more. To unite our forces, bring the know-how, and maybe there is no need of investment. You get my point?
Thank you very much, Mr. Joe. I love to emphasize what you just said, that in the future, you used to tell your people in the future that they will beg Africans for job.
Yes.
Because Africans have the right resources. They have the land, the arable land, they have the energy to farm. You're saying only what we need to do is to mobilize the communities.
And the youth.
And the youth, to have the useful energy.
And also golden heart.
And the golden heart. Wow.
And we are proud of our country, our values, and what we are able to do. And what is good about Nigeria is that we have an Anglo-Saxon mindset.
Yeah.
So we're ready for business and we move fast. But we need to understand, now I'm telling to the people that are willing to invest or come here to deliver their businesses, is they need to find the right people, because it's not easy. Or they say, oh, in Africa there are a lot of scammers. It's not true. When you have nothing to put in your belly, you can do whatever to feed your people.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
So it's not a scammer. It's a surviving human being.
Yeah.
That everyone can understand this. But what I do promise is that in an equal situation, here I see, honestly speaking, people willing to deliver the best of their lives together. Because the unique danger that we have in Nigeria is mosquito. Because of malaria.
So mosquito is only
the only thing that I fear. You understand what I mean?
I know. Thank you very much. You are. That's why I used to call you the Nigerian ambassador or Spanish ambassador to Nigeria, and you also emphasize that you are the Nigerian, the Nigerian without a passport.
What is this?
The Nigerian without a passport, and I know, representing Nigeria this way, you will surely be appointed that ambassador, because it can only take a Nigerian to authenticate a Nigeria and to endorse a Nigeria the way you've done. That you have always told your people that one day they will come to Africa to look for a job, because we have the people with a golden heart.
And ready to work.
They are ready to work.
No lazy people.
They are ready to work. Now, you see, women in Nigeria also, Engineer Adeola, women in Nigeria constitute the backbone of local economies. Now, we are talking of what practical policies and financing model can empower grassroots women to become drivers of food production. We are talking about food production, mobilizing our women, because the women need to be mobilized. We are talking about killing the hunger. We are just saying in this place that what we are doing is emphasizing that we are not just talking about mobilizing for politics, even though that is where the emphasis is in Nigeria. And let me remind you that why I brought in Engineer Adeola to this program, because Engineer Adeola is the national chairman of grassroots mobilization for APC, PBAT, nationwide. And he has done a great work in mobilizing both women and youth to that effect. And we are saying, how do we extend this mobilization beyond just mobilizing for election? How do we start mobilizing to raise the voice of the masses? How do we mobilize now for food production, to get the masses, to get masses? Because when we have achieved that policy or the goal that you have achieved in Europe, where the mantra is that 5% work to feed 95%, because in Nigeria, a lot of women, if you go to our community, rural communities, people are working under the sun. They are working, sweating, working, and yet the hunger is coming, growing. The hunger rate is growing. No food, complaint everywhere. How do we mobilize to deliver more food and yourself, the women as drivers of delivering more food and then production, and then also drivers of local enterprises, and then little enterprise in Nigeria that could work together in achieving our objective, which is killing the hunger.
Thank you very much. If you see, most of our women, when they travel out, they do hardest work more than the farmer in Nigeria. Most of them go to many countries, do hardest work. But in Nigeria, we don't believe in ourselves. Let me tell you, when America wake up, America will bless their country. God bless America. Some people in Nigeria, they never even believe that Nigeria will become a great one day, which we try to tell all our women, bless your country with the word of your mouth, number one, and have the hope that one day this our country called Nigeria is going to be a great work. If you see what my brother, my friend, Mr. Joe, telling us now, one day they will come from white begging Nigeria for something, which is what we believe, because we have everything. We have good land. We have good time, raining, dry season. According to God, bless us with everything. Is to just enlighten our people to know the right thing to do, and we move forward. Which is what we are doing. By special grace of God today, we have millions of people in the grassroots today. Present now, we are mobilizing for the election that is coming, and we still enlighten to do the right thing, to let us look at this our country, what and what we need to do to kill hunger in our country, what and what we need to do to make Nigeria great, what and what we need to do, and to proud of ourselves, to have hope in what we are doing. Then a lot of our women, because when we are talk about the grassroots, the people we are interested on, the people that don't even know the right thing to do now, they don't have hope in Nigeria, we come and tell them there's hope. Because a lot of people believe Nigeria can never great again. Nigeria, everybody now travel, go and do hard work that they cannot do in their fatherland. But now, some people, I heard the story of a woman that lived and worked in America, come to Nigeria and establish and be doing well in Nigeria right now. Where some people are still looking for how to sell their property, travel out. But what I want to try to tell my people, my grassroots people, if you are listening to me, Nigeria is going to be a great country than what we are expecting. You can see my white man here, Mr. Joe, telling us right now in this studio that what ANC is someone that have something in his brain. That's why I close to him. We have a company together to do in this country. We are doing something together. He was very intelligent, that he know what to do in Nigeria. If you do the right thing, in 3 years you will not suffer for any food again. When we are discussing, we're talking about how are we going to do it. A Hadia and my Hadia is just like the same. I'm not always be with him, seek of advice. How do you do in your country? How do you do that? And we put something together. We have this great something in our hand to do now to make sure Nigeria become a food
hunger-free nation.
Hunger-free nation.
Yes.
I will explain you why.
That's what I'm coming to.
Give me just 1 second.
I'm coming to you.
Why we are killing the hunger? Why? For who? And how we are going to achieve that?
Yes.
At the end, we did. I remember in Spain, okay, my town. Sorry for interrupting you.
No problem.
For the leader. I remember that in my own town called Mollerussa, in a rural area in Spain, in Catalonia, next to 100 kilometers far away from Barcelona, the first thing that we did in the 1890 something, so 2 centuries ago, is to bring the water, because there was nothing there. Here we have water. Secondly, they started to work with the land and just food production for the families. You get my point? So poverty was there. But one day arrived something that was called cold room. For what? Preserving the harvest. If not, we have the harvest lost. Imagine one problem that we have here in Nigeria is the same problem that we have 50 years ago in my country. And it's about, we are developing agriculture.
So you are saying Nigeria is in preserving food, we are 50 years behind.
Yes.
That's a food for thought.
But now, at that moment, the technology didn't exist. But now the technology is in our hand.
In our hand.
You get my point? So this is the reason why I want to shake the hand with you and all the people of the country and His Excellency President Tinubu, Her Excellency the Senator, her wife, also with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Her Excellency Bianco Juku, people that are doing really well. You get my point is to provide this country with the best practices. Imagine if we are able to reduce the harvest lost. We have 50% of the food more available for local communities. This is about having the know-how and a bit of investment. It's an investment that comes from this country, not $1 billion. You get my point?
Yeah.
Secondly, what happened to my place? That cold room started to grow. What happened? We were able to feed our local community, and then we will have excellent. What does it mean? We can make business on that food. Also livestock, agric, and animals. And then roads were developed, hospitals were developed, and everything. If we are able to eat, we are able to dream. If we have this agriculture done in Nigeria, you know, everything is going to happen because agribusiness will change this country forever.
Thank you very much. Do you know what? We luck to have the first lady in our time, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. But most of Nigeria never know that we are lucky to have the woman. It's the woman that like to be empower people. If you recently, maybe you are listening to news, he was in a rural area to develop a lot of women in agriculture.
Through leadership.
Many programs. What she do a lot is to enter grassroots area. Even right now as we are discussing, we are about to meet in our grassroots to make sure that because the woman was intelligent, he know the problem of this country, he was in senator for many years. And the first lady that we ever have in this country, he have impact on the country. He never sleep. As I'm talking to you now, the first lady moving here and here and here. Even when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will never enter in rural area, the woman is going there and make everything easy for a woman. May God Almighty keep on bless the woman, give him more energy to do more, because this is only first lady I see in the history of Nigeria that doing more than enough. May God Almighty be with you.
Let me tell you something. Without woman, there is no life.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Without a woman, there is no family.
Yeah.
Without woman, there is no food.
You know, that's what we're talking about there, that the women constitute the backbone of the local economies, you understand me? And they also play a very strategic role in the implementation of the policies and the financing and empowering the women is a very critical a thing to do in driving the food agenda. Because now, if you check the second goal of the development SDG is zero hunger.
Wow.
And it's very critical to us, Yosani. And killing the hunger, harnessing grassroots mobilization for national transformation is a very critical issue that we need to pay a critical attention. And like what we've said so far, the women are very, very strategic. And what we are now looking at is empowering them. Empowering them to play that role. And also now we are looking at the young people. Young people dominate Nigerian population, like you've rightly observed. And the population of young people, yet many of them remain unemployed, despite and vulnerable. And that is what is also fueling insecurities, fueling every other aspect of our national challenges. We now what we need to know, how can government and the private sector strengthen youth-led agriculture. You see me? We are now talking about youth-led agriculture. Now, because they are the strength, I could say that the youth, boldly say the youth are the strength of the nation. How can government strengthen youth-led agriculture and agro-processing innovation hub and digital entrepreneurship? Let me give you a background. I have a cassava farm in Kuje. I have a sizable this one cassava, but my challenge is processing it. For 3 years, the last session I harvested, it wasted. I couldn't see how to process it. You understand me? If it were my rural village, I would have processed it and make a lot of garri from it. You understand me? Now it's there now. I've even instructed them not to cut it so that it won't turn to become useless. No. And people are coming to buy the stem, to use the stem for replanting and all the rest of it. We need to start agro-processing, innovation hub, and entrepreneurship. How do we harness now grassroots mobilization? This mobilization we are talking about now is both on the side of like what we do at the Sustainability Roundtable series. We are both mobilizing the government and say, government, this is what needs to be done. And then the people, this is what needs to be done. Now, how do we now encourage, youth-led agriculture? Agro-processing. Our government, what do you think we could, from your experience of your place, Mr. Joe, inspired you, we understand that we are far behind in what you people have achieved over there. What can you advise our government and the private sector to do for us, now, in strengthening youth-led agriculture and agro-processing?
For me, there are two things which are very, very, very important and very easy to understand. We need the critical infrastructures that we don't have. In terms of, first for me is cold rooms. The secondly, for agriculture is these greenhouses to maximize the return of investment of what we do.
Okay, road and greenhouses. Okay. Irrigations, okay.
And then processing plants. You get my point?
Yeah.
Also, in parallel, we need to cover the gap of photovoltaic farming. I mean, solar panel, big ones, just to manage the industries, because at the end we have sun too. This is the first part, the critical thing. Talent without the structure, there is nothing. You get my point? So, Nigeria needs to invest first in the critical and crucial infrastructure in the agriculture terms. Okay, need to study what we have, which are the areas, which are what we are harvesting in Uche or in Kaduna or in Minna or whatever, and then a master plan and to invest in critical infrastructure. That will give hope and the first jobs. Secondly, is what I call this education, but not this education that you go to university or you go to school, no. I call it learning by living. Again, learning by living. What does it mean? We bring the know-how with a team of people.
Educate our people.
That are experienced on delivering this agriculture or these greenhouses, managing them, or maybe managing the irrigation, all these things. And you put people next to them to transfer what we know by the experience. And in 5 years, the white go home, or the people who have the knowledge. And then the agro industry will grow by itself. And a lot of youth that now they need to steal or whatever to eat a bit every day, they will have a decent, not just job, maybe business. Because people here are very bold, are very smart, they dream high. So for me, there are
just two things you said. You mentioned critical infrastructure.
Yes.
Of road, greenhouses, and processing hub.
Why not?
And then education by living.
Also electricity. So
electricity. Critical infrastructure.
Because we have this, this kind of problem. But we are not talking about $1 billion. We are talking about starting with pilot projects to allow the people understand it, manage it by themselves, and then the economy, the agribusiness itself will grow. It's what is happening. It's not. I'm not telling a theory. It's what happened in my country.
It's just Mr. Joe just gave us a critical, our government, a critical advice on what will make agri thrive. You know, like what we are talking about is that the youth of Nigeria are the most vulnerable. We will remain unemployed and vulnerable so long we neglect the agricultural value chain and what the value we are bringing into it. Now, what he's saying in advising the government that there are only two things that need to be done for us to harness the best of the sector, which is provision of the critical infrastructure of road, greenhouses, processing hub. Like I mentioned, my cassava in Kuje, I'm finding it difficult to process it. And very soon it could get spoiled and I will not get the values from it. And then the critical infrastructure of electricity is needed in the farm for us to do. And then I must mention a very critical thing that we need to emphasize in Nigeria. He tried to de-emphasize certificate because in Nigeria we have so much emphasis on certificate, and that's why a lot of people have gone to farming and fizzle out quickly because they can't do anything. He mentioned the need for learning, education by living. Education by living. You understand me? These are things that we learn. I am a farmer today. I pride myself a farmer because any place I find myself, I have a little farm around myself. Because I was born by a farmer. I learned by living. I was educated by a farmer. I got the idea of farming from my parent. And I know the best thing that you need to have as a farmer is to have this patient, endurance spirit. Because you have to plant and wait for the plant to come.
And also with the livestock.
With livestock.
For example, here we have this kind of strategy in developing livestock, like the people from South America do, these big ranches, okay, where you can find these cows. There are other systems that are more productive and with less investment. You understand what I mean? This is the reason why I'm here. This is the reason why I created this company, Agros International, with this amazing leader here, Engineer Antoni Adeola. Why? Because I do believe that together, shake my hand, with all of you, all the community, if we believe in ourselves and we have the minimum, we are converting this blessed country in the best country ever. Can you imagine that? Say, I have a dream. You remember that word? So I can assure you that Nigeria, with the leadership of people like Engineer Anthony, people like you, people that they are at the government right now, we can bring Nigeria to be even bigger, the ones that everyone notice. They think, oh, these people, what they're doing in Nigeria. For example, people, when I'm traveling to Nigeria, say, oh, what you are doing? People in the street, they stop my mom to say, hey, your boy is crazy, man. What? He's going to Nigeria. Oh, there they kidnap people, they kill people. Maybe some of that is true, but we have lots of things that are amazing and are not known. So for here, I stand up as a Nigerian and I say, hey, this country are very welcoming. Please come, because here you will be welcomed. You will be happy. You will have lots of friends. You can do business. You can meet extraordinary also practices in every industry, because we need to learn lots of things from Nigeria too. Engineer Anthony, every day by day, he allows me to understand something new about the mindset. But here we need to do one thing that is very difficult, which is to bridge the gap of confidence that we have in between, sorry for saying that, the Nigerian or the black and the white.
We have a short break now. We'll come back. Let's have a short break.
I advisor for the grassroots?
We are still on Sustainability Roundtable series on Global TV, and the Sustainability Roundtable is a global village square where we drive advocacy for national transformation. And I still have in the studio with me Mr. Joseph Gene, our friend, Spanish Nigerian ambassador. Welcome, sir. And I also have with me Ms. Engineer Anthony Adeola, the National Chairman, Grassroots Mobilization for APC PBAT nationwide. Mr. Tony, you know all these things we've been talking about, mobilization. Your mobilization that you are focused, is focused on APC. And there's a great talk now, an apathy for APC, your party, in regarding our issue of our discussion today, killing the hunger, because Nigerians believe that the hunger is there too. What are you doing as a national chairman of the grassroots to convince the people, Yosami, that the hunger they are passing through now have hope?
Thank you very much, my brother. We enlighten our people concerning the situation we have in Nigeria present that is not permanent. In 4 years ago, there's a lot of things that other people, I don't want to mention name, used to convince a lot of our grassroots people in the whole rural area. First of all, they will use you are Christian religion, they are using their hunger in the land. But first of all, we let our people know something, our grassroots people, let their mindset be on what am I going to do to support this country, number one. Because if you are farm, you enlarge your farming, you employ people to join you, you are now becoming on your own. Not every youth need to looking for government work. Not everybody can get government work. What are you going to do to be on your own to employ a lot of people? I see a man that just a graduate and is starting farming. I don't want to be advertised for anyone. I have mentioned the name. Now he have about 300 plus that they are working for him, and he pays salary to them. He's a human being. He come from somewhere, immediately he graduate, he start that. So we need to change our people mindset that not everything government will do for us. What are we going to do for our Nigeria, our good Nigeria? When I wake up in the morning, I say, God, I learned that from America. What are they achieving when they wake in the morning? I say, God bless America, and God continue blessing them. So we tell our here, when you wake up, God bless Nigeria. That is first thing it come out from me. God bless Nigeria. God bless Nigeria. Then God bless Nigeria. I'm going to enjoy this my country. I will never be hungry in this country, because whatever I say it. I see Nigeria is a good country. Then everything concerning me is always good. Because what I think, what I see, I say it. Some people, opposition, I just laugh at them. They are spoiled. Nigeria can never be spoiled. We have challenges in some our rural area that our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is working hard to end it. All what we are expressing in Nigeria now, listen to other country news. Something like this is everywhere, not only Nigeria, but our home country. We need to pay attention. I still tell all our leaders to do something about it, and we are going to be overcome all those areas. Thank you very much, my people.
Thank you. Now, you made a very silent point, Yosami, because we need to be positive about our nation.
Yes,
it's the first place to start.
Yes,
we need to be positive. Like I always emphasize, in Nigeria, something has been bothered me so much that we've always emphasized in each of the series of this program. that that the Renew Hope agenda is not a slogan. The Renew Hope agenda is a policy statement, development policy statement. You understand me? But unfortunate thing, a lot of people have not even taken time to go through it, to know what it's saying. And so because of that, they just take it as a slogan. Like the other day, I saw somebody saying they are going to do a mega rally for development, for a Renew Hope agenda. I laugh. I say, you have a development policy. Have we seen anywhere in the world that they gathered and do a massive rally for sustainable development goals? Those are the kind of misunderstanding we have in Nigeria. I just want you in 1 minute, Mr. Joseph, the sports in your place is a national transformation driver in Spain. That's why we have the Baka Nigeria. When we play Nigeria, Nigerians are, in fact, they are your biggest fan in your place, what they do. Now, sports remain one of the strongest youth engagement tools. How can grassroots sport development reduce crime, build discipline, and create jobs and contribute to national unity in Nigeria?
At the end, here is very similar to agriculture and other sectors in the Nigeria. There is a lack of structure. There is infinite raw talent, and what we need just to let them know what to do in terms to achieve their maximum level. And during this process, that I call enjoy and perform, because sport gives you always the best values at school. While you are playing football, you are with your friends, and you learn to win, you learn to lose. If you want to play, you need to be at your best skills, but also shape everything. When you're playing football, you're not thinking about drugs, alcohol, or being at the street, or being around. So what happened in Spain is it is going to happen here. When we fix the agriculture, the people will start more doing another activities because they will be fed. And then it's not entertainment, football. It's the university of life. Because you learn a lot of things that you cannot learn in the school or in families. You start competing when you are very young with the others. You need to relate yourself with the others. You need to play as a team towards one goal. And if you're not doing your best, it's very difficult. So that, as a country, is the university of bringing the right basement for these people for the future that will bring this Nigeria to the top.
Thank you very much. I enjoy what you said now, that sport, especially football, is a university of life where you start early to learn how to compete positively to be the winner. I love that. And so we are still on grassroots mobilization for Global TV, and I still have with me Mr. Joseph. He just made a very strong point on sports. In Nigeria, sports, like everywhere in Spain, Nigerians spend a lot of time, I won't say waste, in watching Bacchus and watching other football. And the one thing we have learned from him now is that sport, especially football, is a university of life where people start early to learn to compete. And so grassroots mobilization, in closing, is not a political slogan. You understand me? It is the living engine of sustainable development. In Nigeria and across the world, true transformation begins where people live, work, farm, trade, create, and raise families. When farmers, women, youth, artisans, community leaders, and local institutions are empowered, development becomes owned, inclusive, and sustainable. If we must truly defeat hunger, reduce poverty, create jobs, and build resilient communities, we must move development from policy document to grassroots. Sustainable national transformation will not happen for the people alone. It must happen with the people, through the people, and by the people. Today's conversation has made one fact clear. Nigeria cannot kill hunger from Abuja alone. Nigeria cannot industrialize from policy paper alone. Transformation begins in farms, in markets, in youth hub, in football field, in women cooperative, in sport field, in local communities. And grassroots is not the bottom of development. Grassroots is the beginning